Welcome to the PreSnap Podcast, presented by LineStar. All things fantasy football with a sprinkle of sports betting analysis. We're looking at this Monday Night Football game. The Bears are at the Patriots. Both teams struggling a little bit. Alongside Tyler Weeman, I'm Shannon Somerville. So the Bears coming into this 2-4 on the season. Meanwhile, the Patriots 3-3. They are the home favorites by 8.5 points in this one. A little bit of a similar tale for both, as Justin Fields struggling for the Bears. Just really hasn't found that stride on offense. And then for the Patriots, Mac Jones was replaced. I mean, he was dealing with an ankle injury, so he was out. But early in the season, he was throwing a lot of picks, and that offense didn't look great either. Now, it looked a little better under Bailey Zappi. However, they did change the offense more to suit his skills. It was a lot of kind of dump-offs here and there. So when you look at this game, what stands out to you?
Yeah, I would actually not be surprised if they run more of an offense like the Bailey Zappi offense, just because they're not going to need an explosive offense to win this game. The Patriots can run the ball and win this game easily, I think.
Let's take a look at some injuries to report for the Patriots. You've got quarterback Mac Jones, we just talked about. He's expected to start in this game, despite missing the last 3 games with that high ankle sprain. So he's in this one. Sorry, fans that were fans of Bailey Zappi, but he's riding the pine in this one. Wide receiver Nelson Aguilar, questionable, dealing with a hamstring injury that kept him out of that Cleveland game. And then wide receiver Kendrick Bourne with a toe injury. He is not expected to play in this one. And Tyler, I'm sure you'll talk some fantasy implications on that one coming up when we start looking at our daily fantasy plays. Cornerback Jonathan Jones, questionable. He didn't play last week with an ankle injury. And cornerbacks Jalen Mills and Sean Wade, both questionable with an illness. So that's a position that could be a little thin for them. Keep an eye on that injury report. Meanwhile, the Bears, for the first time in quite a while, have no injuries to report. This is a clean injury. I don't think we've seen a clean injury report even before the season started.
At least there's one thing the Bears are excited about.
Let's get excited for this daily fantasy. We're going to find, it might not be the most exciting Monday Night Football game. However, we can find a little value in the daily fantasy market. Justin Fields poses an interesting question as to whether or not you want to rely on him in daily fantasy. He's got one of the lowest completion percentage at 54.8% in the entire league. That ranks 35th out of 38 quarterbacks, minimum 14 attempts. Quarterback ranking ranks 33rd, and the Patriots defense is pretty good. They rank 7th in DVOA. However, he has the skill set that could put up fantasy points. What do you make of it?
Yeah, the real thing here is his rushing upside. He can score on the ground. He's been routinely getting 40, 50 yards rushing. If you throw a touchdown in there and then whatever passing volume he has. Right. He's a decent fantasy option. Is he somebody I'm prioritizing? Absolutely not.
Let's take a look at the running backs. Interesting running back situation for the Bears. David Montgomery versus Khalil Herbert. Now, Matt Eberflus has kind of come out and said, I'm giving it to the hot hand. So I'm not quite sure what that will mean from a fantasy implications. And this is a tough matchup for them. What do you expect in terms of the running backs, and who do you trust?
So the one thing I have to say is, so the coach has came out saying they're going hot hand. However, Montgomery has still been playing over 3/4 of the snaps. So he has clearly been their number one. Now I think Herbert, he's the better pure runner. So if they need to just run the ball, they would probably be better off going with him. But Montgomery is the guy they trust, and he's really going to need to mess it up to not be that number one guy.
Interesting note is the Patriots have not allowed a touchdown from a running back this season.
Yeah, and that's also very good to note, too, because Herbert, as far as catching passes, isn't quite as good as Montgomery. Right. So if the Patriots really lean into stopping that run, you'll probably see Montgomery getting a little more work with dump-offs and whatnot.
As far as the wide receiver goes, Justin Fields doesn't have a lot of weapons, but the one he does have is Darnell Mooney, who had a season-high 12 attempts, targets in last game. He had 68 yards against Washington. Maybe they're learning that, hey, we need to throw the ball to Darnell Mooney.
Yeah, Mooney is really the only pass catcher here that is exciting. But he does have really big playability, which makes him interesting as a captain or MVP option. Look, he is a large target share on a very low volume throwing offense. So he's not going to jump out projection wise, but if he has one of those big plays, he is a nice option there, and he can absolutely do it.
You're also looking at Cairo Santos in this one. Oh, we going kicker? Is the kicker relevant tonight?
I think both kickers are relevant, especially for the Bears. Like you said, the Patriots have not allowed a rushing touchdown. That's how the Bears score touchdowns generally. So we could be in a situation where the Bears get into the red zone and then just can't score.
Let's look at the Patriots now. As you mentioned, Mac Jones, quarterback rating 31st in 3 games. He has 5 picks on the season in those 3 games. That's as many as Patrick Mahomes has, in 7 games. So hasn't been great there. Bears pass defense, meanwhile, is very good. They rank 3rd in yards per game allowed. From a fantasy standpoint, Jones coming back after dealing with an ankle injury. Are there concerns in playing him in daily fantasy?
One thing I would say with your stat as far as his interceptions is all his games have been on the road so far. And Chicago is allowing 44% more fantasy points to the quarterback when they're away. Do I love Mac Jones? No. And to use your favorite word, I just think he's fine.
Which means no one ever wants to hear that word, fine, to describe anything. Well, Ramondre Stevenson is not fine. He is exceptional, Tyler. 448 yards. That ranks 11th. And this defense, this Bears defense, kind of not great against the run. 163 yards per game. That ranks 31st. Week 5 had 161 yards, and he's in relief right now. This is crazy to me. What do you make of his fantasy outlook for Monday Night Football?
Yeah, I really wish this was just Stevenson's backfield. He is an exceptional runner. He's a very good running back. The one thing I would say is he is going to be the highest owned captain tonight, one of the highest owned players on the slate. And I wouldn't fade him just because of that. Just realize that if you are using him, you're going to need to get some different somewhere. But I think he is the highest owned captain for a reason.
What do you see with Damian Harris coming off that hamstring injury and how they might incorporate him into the game plan, and how does that then affect Stevenson?
Yeah, so Harris, he's not carrying an injury designation for the game. So he, by all means, it means he's totally healthy. He is fully ready to go. He's been averaging 16.5 carries in games where the Patriots have kept it close. By all means, the Patriots at least should keep it close here, if not have a firm lead. So I think they're going to be running the ball a lot. And Harris is generally the first guy they go to. So I think he's going to get as many carries as he can handle.
Another great receiver for the Patriots is going to be Jacoby Myers, who caught all 4 targets against the Browns for 60 yards. Had a great game against the Lions where he had 111 yards and a touchdown. Although the Bears, we talked a little bit about their pass defense. What do you make of Myers' prognosis or outlook for tonight?
So for Myers, he is by far the highest owned pass catcher in this game. And he has been very good. My big issue with him is he is allergic to the end zone. He does not want to go in. So for that reason, he's hard to use in the captain or MVP spot. But I don't mind him using him in a flex spot.
It is interesting with the wide receivers here for the Patriots. Will they get a bump up with Mac Jones, who earlier in the season passed it down, had a lot more passing plays down the field?
I would say yes, they get a bump up. And there are some nice kind of sleepers with the Patriots you can use. They have a lot of different guys. There's Hunter Henry. There's Jonnu Smith. If Aguilar is out, there's Tyquan Thornton, who had a really good game last game. So I would say they get a little bump up, and probably the ancillary pieces are a little bit better with Jones than they were with Zappi.
Interesting stat I found. I know a lot of Patriots fans are on the Bailey Zappi train. However, they use play action 21% more with him and deep balls 8.6 compared to 26% with Mac Jones. So basically an entirely different playbook for Mac Jones, which could benefit some of these receivers in fantasy.
It absolutely could. And the thing, though, is I don't think they need to get kind of too crazy, too out there with the playbook. They can probably keep it pretty close to the vest and be just fine to win this game against the Bears.
And it's a game where kickers and defenses matter. What do you make of the plays there in fantasy?
I think both defenses and kickers are firmly in position here, especially the Patriots being at home against that Bears offense. It's terrible.
Great analysis by Tyler for our daily fantasy projections for tonight and Monday Night Football. To get more of that analysis, make sure to check out linestarapp.com. All the stats you could possibly need to get you ready for Monday Night Football. We also have a lineup optimizer that will help you win some of those contests. So check it out, linestarapp.com. Now it's time for our touchdown calls of the game. Tyler, who's getting an anytime touchdown in Monday Night Football tonight?
Well, we just talked about him a little bit. He's back from injury. We're going Damian Harris. Got some time off. He's got fresh legs. And this game is just going to be a run it down their throats. Slower game. And in the 4 full games that Harris has played, he's scored 3 times. I think he gets another one tonight.
I'm going Justin Fields, plus 290. Kind of liking that number as well. Coming off a season-high 12 rushes, which was double any other rush attempt he's had this season. I like to see them increasing his volume in the run game. And he's also continually a part of those goal line packages. I do think New England might key in on some of those running backs. And we were talking earlier before the show, and you were saying, they might try to, shut down Mooney in that pass game, in which case, let's get Justin Fields to start using his legs, which is the best part of his game. So I think he gets a touchdown tonight.
I like it.
Prop bets. Where are you going in the prop market?
We're going back to my boy Damian Harris over 51.5 yards. Bears are allowing 122.8 rushing yards a game. And in close games, Harris is averaging 16.5 carries a game. At 4.5 yards a carry, he should hit this easily. Pats are 8-point home favorites, so I expect him to lean on the run and with Harris.
You're keeping it with your touchdown call, Damian Harris. I'm keeping it with my touchdown call. Justin Fields over 205.5 pass rush yards, minus 115 in the sports books. He's hit the over here in the last 3 games. Last week, in week 6, 278. Going up against a New England team, they just allowed Cleveland quarterback Jacoby Brissett to put up 266 passing yards. Every single quarterback they've faced this season has gone over 205. The only one who didn't was Mitch Trubisky, who just lost his job at the Steelers. So I think he gets this over 205.5. Let's go Justin Fields. Hopefully they change up the playbook a little bit from when we saw them last on Thursday Night Football. Just didn't seem like they played to Justin Fields' skill set in that one.
Yeah, I mean, all season, I feel like they haven't. They talked about how they were going to create the offense around Fields this year, and it looks the same as last year.
Right.
So
we were kind of hopeful that Justin Fields might be someone that could be a candidate, like a next Justin Fields for fantasy. That has not come to fruition.
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not. He is dealing with, a new system, though. We'll see if he starts to figure it out. He is playing better every week a little bit.
He is playing a little bit better. They're giving him a little longer of a leash. But yeah, he needs to throw the ball a little more.
He gets sacked a lot, though. Poor guy.
Yeah. It's hard being a Bears fan right now.
It really is. I feel for them. I used to feel that way as a Jets fan, but
now you're just riding high, huh?
Let's go to tonight's game picks. Patriots are 8.5-point home favorites. Yeah. What do you like in this game?
I I think Patriots win the game, but I would have to take the plus 8.5 on the Bears. Low scoring game. 8 points is a lot in a low scoring game.
Right. I'm going with you on this. We didn't even compare notes before the show. I'm also taking the Bears. 8.5 just is a lot of points.
No drama between us today.
Yeah. I don't think it's also 40.5 is the game total. I think that's going to go under too.
Yeah, probably.
So Bears have a good defense and their offense not so much. So you're getting the under. All right, that's going to do it for our Monday Night Football preview. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, be sure to like our video, if you're enjoying our content, that is. Hopefully you do. And subscribe to our channel. Make sure you sign up for notifications as well so you can keep up with all the video content that we've got coming out. Monday Night Football. Good luck in all your sports betting and your daily fantasy. We'll see you guys next time.
Have a good one, guys. Bye.